We see it every day on social media or at work. Someone speaking with absolute confidence on complex topics like medicine or economics without a dime's worth of background. They don't just talk. They loudly argue and correct actual experts, completely convinced they alone are right. You're just sitting there thinking, wait, isn't this my neighbor who flunked fourth grade? This begs the question, where does this blind confidence come from? Why are those with the shallowest understanding always the loudest, while actual experts remain cautious and quiet? I'm Sohail, hosting you today from the Question, Why? Channel. Before we dive in, please subscribe and hit the bell icon. The story of McArthur Wheeler. In 1995, in Pittsburgh, McArthur Wheeler robbed two banks in broad daylight without a mask. He even looked straight into the security cameras and smiled. Naturally, the police identified him and arrested him that same night. The real shocker came when they showed Mac the tapes. Utterly flabbergasted, he said, "But how? I wore the juice." Wheeler was fully convinced of a myth that rubbing lemon juice on your face makes you invisible to cameras because it's used as invisible ink. Drug tests proved he was completely clean. He was just genuinely blinded by this misinformation and was sentenced to 24 years in prison. The Dunning-Kruger Effect. This bizarre incident caught the attention of psychologists David Dunning and Justin Kruger. They wondered, can incompetence in a skill actually rob someone of the ability to realize they are bad at it? They published a famous paper titled Unskilled and Unaware of It, arguing that the exact skills required to do a task correctly are the very same skills needed to evaluate your own performance. For example, if your grammar is poor, you fundamentally lack the tools to realize your writing is incorrect, so your brain tricks you into writing with absolute confidence. To test this, they analyzed college students' abilities in logic, grammar, and humor. Before receiving their grades, students estimated their own scores. The results were stunning. The students who failed miserably drastically overestimated their performance, believing they had aced the tests. This gap between reality and self-perception is known as the Dunning-Kruger Effect. A little learning is a dangerous thing. Sometimes a confident person isn't entirely ignorant. They just have a surface-level grasp of a subject. In the early stages of learning, picking up a few basic facts makes a person's confidence skyrocket. Researchers call this initial phase the peak of Mount Stupid. Because they don't yet understand the subject's complexity, they assume they've mastered it. A surface-level understanding is more dangerous than total ignorance. An ignorant person might stay quiet, but a semi-educated person is arrogant and loud. Having created research-based content online for over 10 years, I've seen tens of thousands of condescending comments correcting us with total nonsense. Meanwhile, long, valid critiques are always humble and precise. The more you learn, the more you realize how massive and intricate the subject truly is. This echoes the famous lines attributed to Imam al-Shafi'i. The more life disciplines me, the more I realize the deficiency of my mind. And the more I increase in knowledge, the more I learn how ignorant I truly am. The Ohio State University study. A study at Ohio State University beautifully backed this up. Researchers asked 1,200 participants to solve a problem about a school facing a groundwater shortage. Group 1 read an article favoring a school merger. Group 2 read an article favoring independence. Group 3 read the comprehensive data for both sides. When asked if they needed more information, Groups 1 and 2 immediately said, "The information we have is more than enough. We've made up our minds." Meanwhile, Group 3, the only group with the full picture, was the most hesitant. This proves that possessing only half the truth breeds far more arrogance than having the whole story. The psychology of arrogance and echo chambers. Why do people double down on being right when they are completely wrong? Our brains hate being wrong. Admitting an error causes real psychological discomfort. To avoid this, our brains selectively look for information that validates our views, confirmation bias, while dismissing opposing data. Social pressure. Saying I don't know is socially uncomfortable. If you ask a random stranger for directions to a place they've never heard of, they'll often give you wrong directions anyway, just to avoid looking clueless. Emotions and desires. We believe what we want to believe. A left-handed person will easily accept a theory stating lefties are more creative, proudly pointing to Leonardo da Vinci while ignoring millions of creative right-handed people. Social media echo chambers. Algorithms on Facebook, YouTube, and TikTok are engineered to show you content that matches your worldview. If you believe the Earth is flat, YouTube will feed you thousands of videos supporting it, trapping you in a digital bubble where you mistakenly believe the whole world agrees with you. Ego and catastrophic overconfidence. The ultimate culprit is ego. When a person's pride prevents them from admitting someone else is right, their opinion becomes a core part of their identity. If their opinion is proven wrong, their brain translates it as an attack on their intelligence, turning the debate into a stubborn act of self-defense. While arguing about football is harmless, blind certainty in high-stakes fields is catastrophic. Napoleon and Hitler both invaded Russia in the winter due to a blind belief that their armies were invincible, ignoring basic climate and logistics, resulting in total defeat. The Challenger Space Shuttle disaster, 1986, occurred because NASA managers ignored explicit warnings from engineers about part failures in cold weather. They pushed for launch anyway, and the shuttle exploded 73 seconds later, killing everyone on board. Science is built on trying to prove theories wrong, not blindly trying to prove them right. The confidently ignorant person does the opposite. They shut their eyes to any evidence of their error. How to protect ourselves. Escaping this trap takes effort, humility, and courage. Never stop learning. Knowledge humbles the ego. I am 38 years old and still studying new subjects constantly. Learning must be a lifelong journey. Seek feedback. Don't rely solely on your own judgment. Ask experienced people. What are my blind spots? How can I improve? You must have thick skin and view others as mirrors showing you what you cannot see. Play devil's advocate. Constantly ask yourself, what if I'm completely wrong? Seek out contradicting evidence with the same enthusiasm you use to find supporting data. To give a real-world example, I consider myself a solid writer and researcher. Yet, despite that, Mahmoud El-Sayed, Steve, who wrote this very script, consistently blows me away. His writing is honestly on a whole different level than mine. We've wrapped up today's topic. To everyone who watched until the end, you guys are the absolute best. Smash that like button before you go, and if there's a burning question keeping you up at night, drop it in the comments below. Take care and peace out.